Hello there, I'm Scotty, you're not, and welcome to the start of my Bourne review series. Jason Bourne review series. I'm reviewing all five, that's 5 of the Jason Bourne films. I'm not doing the 1988 TV film called The Bourne Identity that's like over 3 hours long. I just don't want to sit through something that's over 3 hours long. I don't really want to do it anyway. I just want to do these ones, the Matt Damon, Paul Greengrass films. And we're starting off with, of course, Bourne Identity, released in 2002, directed by Doug Liman and starring Matt Damon, Franca Potente, Clive Owen, Brian Cox, and Chris Cooper. I forgot about him. And it's about a man who wakes up not having a memory of what's happened. He washes ashore. He has no idea what's happened. He's trying to regain his memory. He learns his name is possibly Jason Bourne. Along his travels to try to figure out what's going on, he meets a woman named Marie and eventually tries to take down this agency known as Treadstone that could be responsible for whatever is happening with him. So, yeah. So this is one of those films that starts out like very mysterious. You don't know what's going on. You see a ship in the rain, and you see someone floating in the water. It's revealed to be Matt Damon. And okay, let's talk about this. When apparently The Bourne Identity was big as a book. They had that '88 TV movie. When I'd never heard of it before the movies came out. So when Matt Damon was announced as playing, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. When Matt Damon was announced as playing Jason Bourne, I didn't think of any of it. I was like, okay, it's like an action film with Matt Damon. That guy from Good Will Hunting, that's what I knew him as. I hadn't seen the movie yet, but I'd seen, TV. I don't want awards and stuff. And this was 2002, so I was like 14. I think I always do this. At 97, I'm 10. And so you go 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 15. I was 15 that year. Okay. I was 15. I wasn't a kid. And I was just starting to get to realizing how movies and TV worked at the time. My wash rags are in the way. So, yeah, I didn't really know what it was. My brother did go to see The Bourne Ultimatum when it came out, but I wasn't into the movies yet. I bought this shortly after the new one came out because I got interested. I'm like, oh, I've never seen those movies before. I have the first one on VHS, which I could go grab. Matter of fact, here it is. Yeah, VHS. Attuale a che noi agbaje. And so, I like what they do with this movie is they don't tell you everything right away. You go throughout the film trying to piece together exactly what happened. Who's Jason Bourne? We don't know. He barely knows who he is. He tracks down the name Jason Bourne, also another guy named Kane, who ends up being him, but also there's a real Kane, or not a real Kane, but like, they try to find his body and it's not there. And there are some decent action scenes, and man, so I'm watching this on my Vudu in the bedroom as I'm kind of moving things, rearranging things in there, and when the film starts, I can't hear anything, so I turn up to like 25. Sometimes you're on Vudu, you have to turn up. But then the action scenes start going, you get the gunshots going in, it's loud as hell. I had to turn it down again, and then you can't hear him talk, so you gotta turn it back up again. It's very weird, the sound mix. And it's not just for this movie, I don't think. I think it's for every movie. Sometimes you watch a movie, it's quiet when they're talking. I have the subtitles on, but when I'm moving around the room, trying to figure out, put things here and here, move this, go through stuff, I've seen this once before, like when I bought this set. And yeah, so it's I wouldn't call it a spy film. Spy films are like Mission Impossible and James Bond. This is not really a spy film. He's not acting as a spy. It's more like The Fugitive with Harrison Ford, but he didn't kill anyone. He's just being pursued because for who he works for, he's a liability. So they're trying to, you know, cut that out, trying to make sure, tie up all the loose ends, so to speak. When it comes to villains in this film, I think they are actually kind of weak. Brian Cox is a great actor. I love him. But he doesn't do much other than sort of be behind the scenes. Chris Cooper is our main villain. You do have Clive Owen's Professor. And, well, that's fine. He's just a sniper guy. It's nothing too big. I know that the villains become more prominent throughout the films with, like, Pamela Lundy and Tommy Lee Jones in the fifth one. And at some point, I think, what's his name? Tuesdays with Morrie guy. I can't think of his name. He's in there. And yeah. Bourne's relationship with Marie is complicated. She is technically a hostage because he needs her to kind of get around a little bit. Like he technically just bumps into her, but he needs, you know, she's a victim of circumstance because he's one of the first people that he sees. And I know that they changed her from French to German because the actress was German. So, but that works. But the relationship is kind of, you know, I don't think there's, as far as I could tell, there wasn't any, like, romantic notions with them. At the end, when he comes back, they kiss. And I'm just like, okay, I guess that's what we were heading toward. I guess. Maybe there was a little bit. I mean, I guess it works in the end, but yeah. Well, now what they do with her in the next one. But anyway, and yeah, with her, they get rid of her for the final act, so he can go out balls to the walls on this agency, which is called Treadstone, and try to figure out, you know, what's going on. He calls Chris Cooper. He says, "Hey, meet me here alone." Sees he's not alone. So, no, you're not alone. I'm not doing this, which is very smart. He could just like, fuck it, I'm a secret agent guy, right? I can go in there and do it. But he could be overwhelmed. He waits, and then eventually bides his time and gets to the guy, and then he remembers everything. Like this whole movie, we were presented that there was supposed to be an assassination of this African president guy, played by Adewale Akinnuoye, and it didn't happen. They're trying to figure out what happened. Eventually, this guy does get assassinated by someone else. I believe it was the professor that killed him, but now they still have to tie the loose end of Jason Bourne. And when Jason Bourne confronts Chris Cooper's character, Culkin, I think his name is, not Culkin, Colkin, Colkin, I think. But anyway, he confronts him, and that's when he starts to get the memory. He's like, "We put you on there. We did this." And then he starts to get the memory back. He was going to assassinate this guy, but his kids were there. The guy's kids were there, and he couldn't do it, which resulted in him getting shot 2 times in the back and, you know, falling off the ship. It's never really revealed why he lost his memory. You would think that it would be something built in, at least in this film. Anyway, I don't think it's ever really revealed. Maybe later ones. I think it would be a built-in thing where, oh, he's compromised, erase his memory, so if he gets captured, he can't reveal any of our secrets. But I don't know. It just, he has no memory of it, so yeah. But the action scenes in this film, they use shaky cam, which is fine to hide things, but I don't think they were trying to hide things. There's some pretty decent stunt work and action scenes in this, but I just think they could do better. I think they do get better, but this is, you know, Doug Liman, the guy who gave us Edge of Tomorrow, which is I struggle to call it a good film. It's an interesting film, I would say. It's very confusing if you're not paying attention enough, but yeah. And Matt Damon more than fills the role here. He is great in this role, and he has become this role so much that when he was replaced by Jeremy Renner for the 4th film, people got pissed. Now think about that. You go back to this film, people were pissed, up in arms, that Matt Damon this guy known for dramas and comedy stuff is being cast in an action film. Now he's being replaced by Jeremy Renner. We're like, oh, well, we want Matt Damon back, and that film they're doing well. I don't remember that film being that bad. We'll get to it, I guess, but I don't remember it being that bad. And he came back for Jason Bourne, and then people were like, oh, why do you do this? This movie's not good. And I'm just like, again, I watched it. I thought it was okay. I don't like certain plot beats, you know. And we were presented with other characters in this. One that will come. There's one character that will come back. I don't remember the guy's name. He's like the little redhead guy. He comes back along with Brian Cox in the next one. Then you have Julia Stiles, who is kind of just a minor role in this one. She shows up every once in a while. She just say she can't do this or whatever. Like she's she's basically just saying, I know what I'm doing, basically. Like, I keep contacting her to do this, do that, just do that, and she's having problems with it. At one point, like, Jason Bourne, when he infiltrates the place, sets off all alarms, and so they're going off all over the place, and she can't figure it. She's like, what, that's this window. What, the kitchen? And it's just like, you know, it is kind of funny, and I did love that, but yeah, like I said, like, they get rid of Marie so that he can go balls to the walls, because it does make sense. And even he hints that he killed her, which we know he didn't. But it's just like, well, why? What happened to her? She was slowing me down, which she would have had she come with. And I forgot about how it ended. I'm like, is she going to show up and help him? Or no, it's just for the end of the film. And then there's also this weird subplot where they go to this guy's house that she knew, and he just shows up there. He's like, I know he'd be here. Why wouldn't I be here? It's my house, you know. Of course I wouldn't be here. It's my house or something like that. But did they ever get them out of the basement? Because I don't remember. Oh yeah, because he's the one who drives Maria away with the kids to get them to safety, and apparently they must have split at some point. This is PG-13. I didn't hear any F-bombs. I was like, where's there's no F-bombs? This is PG-13. But you get all the action, excitement, gun shooting, glass breaking, cars squealing in this film, and it's done decently, I would say. And then you have the musical score. You got the musical. I almost did like more da 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 da, but you get that musical score, especially what becomes like the de facto Bourne theme song at the end of every film. You get that kind of theme song has become the Bourne theme song. I don't think it's in the fourth one, which would make sense. I don't remember, but I just remember, like, you're at this movie, you're watching these movies, you hear that, and you know, okay, the movie's over. That's, you know, that's the hint, like, you know. And it's almost like it's an exclamation point on the ending of this movie. Like, it does that. It's like a mic drop type situation, you know. And I don't know if they utilize it well at the beginning of this one, where he just shows up and he's like, so you own this place? She's like, yes. She's not looking at him, and so he realizes it's him, and then he makes like a little comment, and then the music plays, and they kiss, and I guess it's like a mic drop, but not too effective as I think it would be in the others, like where he like, in one of them he falls off and lands in the water again, and you think he's dead, and then the music plays and he starts swimming again. So yeah, it's, the music in this is actually pretty good. The effects, I don't know much for effects. I think it's down to the action scenes. I don't think there's much for effects, really. The glass breaking is the only thing I can think of, really, maybe some of the car stunts. But they're done very well. It's a decently done spy thriller that I think works. Especially being over 20 years old now. It still holds up. I think it's very realistic to me. Whereas some of the Bond films could go way out of realism. Bond didn't space anyone. California girls while skiing anyone. Anything in the Bond. The gondola thing. The gondola chase in Moonraker. Just anything. I think it's Moonraker. Just, yeah, Bond, that franchise went so off left field and some of this stuff. It course corrected with the Craig films, I think. Anything and Die Another Day, anyone? Oh, but this is very realistic. I hope it stays realistic. Even the Mission Impossible films that started off kind of realistic have gone just, Tom Cruise wants to try to kill himself on camera, so let's film it. He's hanging off the side of shit, climbing up the side of buildings. It's just, you know, that sort of thing. Jumping out of a freaking plane. And, well, it's called Mission Impossible Fallout, so he fell out of the plane, and, you know. But, yeah, it's all very realistic and gritty. You could actually see that maybe there's some kind of secret government assassin. And that's another thing. There's a sense of urgency to get rid of Jason Bourne. Like, Jason Bourne, oh shit, we gotta get rid of him. We can't deal with him. No, Jason Bourne, we can't let this Jason Bourne can do us. Oh no, he's terrible. But they never say exactly what he is at any point. Just so the audience has to put together what it is. And then it realizes he's an assassin. You know, they get the whole thing like, they're trying to find this Kane. And then he realizes he's Kane because he has the passport. And it all starts to fill together. But they have his body. They go to find his body. It's not there because it was they took his body, but of course it's probably a different corpse or something, and they had to take the corpse and that's when you go, oh, it's like a spy thing going on here. You know, I've seen other spy movies, you know, and yeah, I think it's really well done. So with that in mind, I'm gonna give the Bourne Identity. We'll use this one. Pretty good, and it's a great start to this franchise that I think gets better. And then just goes from good to great to, okay, sure. But I don't think any of them could be considered bad. People say, oh, Bourne Legacy sucks. We shall see, because when I first watched these, it was before I started doing the YouTubes. So we shall see how it goes if that one holds up. I remember the first three, liking them very much. And then the last two things, and they were okay. So we shall see how it goes now. But thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.